All right, listen up, because I'm only gonna tell this story once. You think you know what it's like to be laughed at, to be told you're worthless, to have your dreams stomped on like they're nothing? Well, let me paint you a picture. I was always different, always had my head in the clouds, always chasing some crazy dream. I wanted to make a difference, to help people who couldn't help themselves. I wanted to develop a tactile language for the deafblind. Yeah, you heard it right. I wanted to give a voice to the voiceless. But my family? They thought it was a joke. A ridiculous, embarrassing joke. Who do you think you are? My dad would sneer. You're just a kid with big ideas and no sense. You'll never amount to anything. My mom? She was worse. You're an embarrassment, she'd say, her voice dripping with disappointment. You're throwing your life away on some crazy dream. You'll never make it. You'll fail, and you'll drag this family down with you. And my siblings? They were just as bad. They'd laugh, mock, ridicule. They'd tell me I was stupid, that I was wasting my time, that I was a fool. But I didn't listen. I couldn't. Because I knew deep down that I was onto something. I knew that I could make a difference. So I left. I walked away from it all, from the laughter, the mockery, the disappointment. I walked away, and I never looked back. It wasn't easy. Oh no, it was hard. It was brutal. It was a relentless. I developed a tactile language system that was simple, effective, and life-changing. I could give a voice to the voiceless. I could help people communicate, connect, live. And I did. I started small with just a few students, but word spread. People saw what I was doing, what I was achieving. They saw the difference I was making, and they wanted in. Before I knew it, I was running workshops, training teachers, consulting with schools. I was on TV, in newspapers, on the radio. I was a sensation. I was a success. I was everything my family said I'd never be. And then, one day, I decided it was time to go home. I wanted to show them. I wanted to prove them wrong. I wanted to look them in the eye and say, I told you so. So I packed my bags, I got on a plane, and I went home. I walked into that house, and I saw the looks on their faces. Shock, disbelief, awe. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe that I, the embarrassment, the fool, the dreamer, had made it, had made something of myself, had made a difference. But I had, and I wanted them to see it, to feel it, to experience it. So I invited them to come with me, to come and see what I'd done, to come and meet the people I'd helped, to come and witness the power of my dream. We drove to a school, a place where my tactile language system was being used every day. We walked into a classroom, and we saw it. We saw the deaf-blind students communicating, connecting, living. We saw the joy, the laughter, the love. We saw the difference I'd made. And my family, they were silent. They were stunned. They were humbled. They saw it. They felt it. They experienced it. And they knew. They knew that they'd been wrong. They knew that I'd been right. They knew that I'd made a difference, that I'd made something of myself, that I'd turned their laughter, their mockery, their disappointment into something beautiful, something powerful, something life-changing. And as we left that classroom, as we walked out of that school, I turned to them. I looked them in the eye and I said, I told you so. But I didn't say it with anger, with bitterness, with resentment. I said it with love, with forgiveness, with understanding, because I knew that they'd been wrong, but I also knew that they'd been hurt, that they'd been scared, that they'd been trying to protect me in their own misguided way. And so I forgave them. I forgave them for their laughter, their mockery, their disappointment. I forgave them for trying to hold me back, for trying to crush my dream, because I knew that they'd been wrong. But I also knew that they'd been a part of my journey, a part of my story, a part of my success. And as we drove away, as we left that school, that classroom, that dream behind us, I knew one thing for certain. I knew that I'd made a difference, that I'd made something of myself, that I'd turned their laughter, their mockery, their disappointment into something beautiful, something powerful, something life-changing, and I knew that I'd never, ever let anyone hold me back again. I'd never let anyone crush my dream, my passion, my purpose, because I knew that I was onto something. I knew that I could make a difference, and I knew that I'd never, ever stop trying. So if you're out there, chasing a dream, fighting a battle, pursuing a passion, let me tell you something. Don't let anyone hold you back. Don't let anyone crush your spirit, your hope, your belief, because you can do it. You can make a difference. You can turn their laughter, their mockery, their disappointment into something beautiful, something powerful, something life-changing, just like I did. Just like I do every day. Just like I'll keep doing for as long as I live. Because that's who I am. That's what I do. That's my story, and I'm not done telling it yet.